In the year 2135, on the barren surface of Mars, Sergeant John Harris stood surrounded by a circle of towering insect-like aliens. Their chitinous armor glinted under the harsh light of the Martian sun as they emitted a series of harsh clicking sounds. Their form of laughter they found the sight of a lone armored human weaponless and stranded amusing, but what they didn't know was that Harris wasn't just any soldier. He was the survivor of the Titan's skirmishes, a man who had outwitted and outlasted the deadliest foes in the galaxy. As their laughter echoed across the red plains, Harris's eyes glinted with a steely resolve, a silent vow that these aliens would soon regret underestimating a human warrior. With a swift, calculated movement, Harris reached for the small device hidden in his boot. It was a compact yet powerful empty grenade, a remnant of his last battle. The aliens, still lost in their mockery, failed to notice the subtle threat. Harris knew he had only one chance. The device would temporarily disable their advanced technology, but it wouldn't hold them off for long. He activated the grenade, hurling it into the center of the alien circle. A blinding flash of light erupted, followed by a deafening silence as their laughter was abruptly cut off. The aliens staggered, their advanced armor systems and weapons momentarily disabled by the electromagnetic pulse. Seizing the moment, Harris started towards a nearby rock formation. Using the rugged Martian terrain to his advantage, he had no intention of engaging them in a direct fight. Survival was his only goal. As he maneuvered through the rocks, Harris recalled his training and experiences from the Titan skirmishes. He had learned the hard way that in alien confrontations, brains often triumphed over brawn. Each step was calculated, leading the disoriented aliens into a labyrinth of rocks and cliffs. The aliens recovered quickly, their systems rebooting. They pursued Harris, their movements swift and coordinated, but Harris was always 2 steps ahead, using his intimate knowledge of Martian geography to lead them into a trap. Finally, he reached his goal, a narrow canyon with steep walls. As the aliens funneled in after him, Harris triggered another device he had planted earlier, a seismic charge. The canyon walls shook violently, raining down rocks and debris, effectively blocking the entrance and trapping the aliens. As the dust settled around the canyon, Sergeant Harris quickly assessed his situation. The aliens were trapped, but he knew they wouldn't be for long. Their technology was far more advanced than anything humanity had encountered before. It was only a matter of time before they found a way out. Harris moved swiftly, putting as much distance as possible between himself and the canyon. His mind raced with plans and possibilities. He needed to find a way off Mars, back to the human colonies, where he could warn them about this new alien threat. As he traversed the rugged Moran landscape, a glimmer of hope emerged in the distance. Partially buried in red Martian soil lay the wreckage of an old Earth research vessel. It was a long shot, but if he could salvage some parts, maybe, just maybe, he could send a distress signal back to Earth. He approached the wreckage cautiously, aware that the vessel could be booby-trapped or that other aliens might be lurking nearby. The ship was a relic from the early days of Mars exploration, its hull battered and worn by years of sandstorms and harsh condition. Inside the ship, Harris found the remnants of a communications console. It was damaged, but with some adjustments it might just work. He set to work using every bit of his training and ingenuity to repair the console. Hours passed, and finally, with a flicker of light and a burst of static, the console hummed to life. Harris hastily composed a message detailing the alien encounter, their technology, and the urgent need for reinforcements. He transmitted the message on all emergency frequencies, hoping it would reach Earth or any of the human colonies. As the transmission ended, a sense of unease settled over him. He couldn't stay at the crash site. It was too exposed. He needed to find shelter and a place to plan his next move. Harris left the vessel, scanning the horizon for any sign of pursuit or rescue. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath his feet, not from another seismic charge, but something far more powerful. Harris looked up to see a colossal alien ship descending from the Martian sky, its size dwarfing anything he had ever seen. The ship was unlike any human or alien design he knew of, its surface alive with shifting patterns and colors. Harris realized the situation had just escalated beyond anything he could have imagined. He wasn't just up against a scouting party. This was an invasion force. His warning had either gone unheard or had arrived too late. With a grim determination, Harris prepared himself for the inevitable confrontation, knowing that the fate of Mars and perhaps humanity itself might now rest in his hands. Sergeant Harris watched in awe as the massive alien ship descended, casting a dark shadow over the Martian landscape. It was clear that this was no ordinary vessel. It was a harbinger of something much larger, perhaps an entire fleet waiting in the wings of space. Harris knew he had to act quickly. He began to move, keeping low to the ground, using the Martian dunes for cover. His mind was racing with strategies. If he could somehow get aboard the ship, he might find a way to sabotage it, or at least gather intelligence about the alien plans. As he approached the ship, he noticed its hull was not solid but seemed to be made of a swirling, liquid-like metal constantly changing shape. It was like nothing he had ever seen. Finding an entry point would be difficult, but Harris was determined. Suddenly he spotted a small panel that appeared less fluid than the rest, possibly an access hatch. He cautiously made his way towards it, avoiding any signs of alien patrols. Once at the panel, he had attempted to interface with it using his suit's tech, but it was unlike any technology he had encountered. It was then that Harris remembered the alien device he had confiscated during a previous skirmish. He had never fully understood its function, but it was worth a try. To his surprise, the device reacted, with the panel causing it to shift and open, revealing a narrow entrance. Harris slipped inside. Just as the panel closed behind him, plunging him into darkness, he activated his suit's light and looked around. He was in some sort of corridor, the walls pulsating with the same liquid metal as the ship's exterior. Moving silently, he explored the ship. The interior was a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, all eerily deserted. It seemed the crew was focused on something outside the ship, giving Harris the opportunity to delve deeper into its core. As he navigated the corridors, he stumbled upon a room filled with screens and controls, a command center of sorts. The screen showed various views of Mars and the solar system, along with strategic data that he couldn't fully comprehend. Harris quickly began to record everything with his suit's camera, hoping that the information would be valuable to Earth's forces. Just then he heard a sound that made his blood run cold, the clicking language of the Ian. They were approaching the command center. Harris looked for a place to hide and noticed a panel slightly ajar. He squeezed into the narrow space. Just as the aliens entered the room from his hiding spot, Harris could see the aliens operating the controls, their hands moving with a speed and precision that was almost hypnotic. He realized they were coordinating a larger plan, possibly the first wave of an invasion. As the aliens left the room, Harris emerged from his hiding spot. He now had a new mission: to get this information back to Earth. He needed to find a way to escape the ship and warn humanity of the impending invasion. With the fate of his planet hanging in the balance, Harris set out to find an escape pod or any means of leaving the alien ship, his heart racing with the urgency of his perilous task. Navigating the alien ship's labyrinth, fine corridors, Harris relied on his military training to remain undetected. The sheer size of the vessel indicated that it was more than just a battleship. It was a flagship. It was a flagship, perhaps the central command for the entire invasion force. As he moved, Harris stumbled upon a chamber filled with maps and holographic displays of the solar system. He realized this room might hold valuable intelligence about the aliens' invasion plans. He quickly scanned the room, capturing as much data as possible with his suit's recording equipment. Suddenly, an alarm blared throughout the ship. Harris tensed, realizing his intrusion might have been detected. He quickly left the room, blending into the shadows of the corridors. Once more, the ship buzzed with activity as alien soldiers hurried past, not noticing the human intruder in their midst. Harris knew he had to find a way off the ship. Soon he followed the directional sign, hoping they would lead him to an escape pod or a hangar. After several close encounters with patrolling aliens, he finally found what he was looking for: a hangar filled with small, sleek spacecraft. As he entered the hangar, he was struck by the scale and sophistication of the alien technology. The ships were unlike anything in Earth's arsenal, designed for efficiency and speed. Harris chose a small one-man craft that looked relatively easy to pilot and hurriedly boarded it. The craft's control panel was a complex array of alien symbols and interfaces, but Harris was undeterred. He had a knack for technology, and after a few tense moments of trial and error, the engines roared to life. He expertly maneuvered the craft out of the hangar, avoiding detection by the larger ships in the vicinity. Once clear of the flagship, Harris set a course for Earth. The small craft was nimble and fast, but he knew the journey back would be perilous. The alien fleet was between him and his home planet, and he had to navigate carefully to avoid being spotted. As he flew, Harris transmitted the recorded data to Earth's high command. He detailed the alien ship's location, their invasion plans, and the urgent need for a counter-offensive. He knew that Earth's forces would be outmatched, but with the intelligence he provided, they might stand a chance. Harris's journey back to Earth was fraught with challenges. He had to evade alien patrols and navigate through asteroid fields, but his determination never wavered. He was driven by a deep sense of duty and the hope that his efforts could turn the tide in humanity's favor. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, birth came into view. It was a beautiful, fragile-looking sphere hanging in the vastness of space. Harris felt a surge of emotion as he approached, knowing that the fate of his world rested on the information he carried. As he entered Earth's atmosphere, Harris sent one final transmission, a beacon for the Earth's forces to follow. Then, bracing himself, he prepared for a rough landing. His craft, not designed for atmospheric entry, began to shake and rattle violently. Harris held on, steering the craft towards a remote landing zone. With a final bone-jarring impact, the craft crashed into the Earth's surface. Harris was thrown forward, his vision blurring as he lost consciousness. As Sergeant John Harris recuperated from his ordeal, the world around him transformed. The data he had brought back from the alien ship ignited a global effort unlike any seen before. Nations that were once rivals united under a single banner, a coal forged in the fires of necessity and survival. The human race, once fragmented by petty disputes, now stood together against a common existential threat. In the weeks that followed, Earth's greatest minds decoded the alien plans and technology from Harris's recordings. New strategies were devised and Earth's defenses were bolstered with innovations inspired by alien tech. Harris, despite his injuries, insisted on being at the heart of this preparation. His first-hand experience became invaluable, shaping the tactics and training of the newly formed Earth Defense Force. When the alien fleet finally arrived, Earth was ready. The battle that ensued was fierce and unforgiving. Harris, leading a squadron of pilots in spacecraft reverse-engineered from the alien designs, was a force to be reckoned with. The skies above Earth became a canvas for the most epic battle in human history, painted with the lights of laser fire and the echoes of thunderous explosions. The alien invaders, so confident in their superiority, found themselves outmaneuvered and outgunned. Harris and his squadron were relentless, tearing through the enemy lines with a mix of tactical brilliance and sheer audacity. The turning point came when Harris, in a daring move, led a strike team to disable the flagship's core, crippling the alien command structure. In the aftermath of the battle, as the alien fleet retreated into the darkness of space, Beer rejoiced. The victory was not just a triumph of military might, but a testament to human resilience and unity. Sergeant John Harris, once a solitary figure ridiculed by his alien captors, became a symbol of hope and courage. His actions not only saved Earth but also redefined humanity's place in the cosmos. From the ashes of war, a new era of exploration and cooperation dawned. Earth's people now looked to the stars, not with fear but with determination and a sense of kinship with the vast unknown universe. And as for Harris, he continued to serve not just as a soldier but as a beacon of the